Well, good morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, along with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctor's Nutrition, located on Cal and Lorraine Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. We are back live this morning, so write down those phone numbers, 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. This is what we call Open Line Monday. Since we've been off the last couple of weeks, we decided to go ahead and have it this week to field any questions that you have regarding your health, because that's what this show is all about, helping you live a healthier lifestyle. So again, our numbers are 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. So enjoyed a couple of weeks off, just taking it easy.
Yep.
Yep.
We have something to start off with that was really interesting. That was new research that came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or a new study, I guess I should say.
Yeah. It's something we talk about all the time. Omega-3s.
Oh yeah.
All right. But University of Texas San Antonio did a really neat study on it. They had about 2,200 people involved in the study, and what they showed was the omega-3s really do preserve brain function, really do. And they used younger people. They didn't wait to use the 75 and older group. They used younger people. I think the average age was like 46. So they saw that even in these younger people, and we stress this all the time, even in kids, they need those omega-3s. That's brain development.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to do it earlier in life. We don't want to wait till we got a problem and then try to fix it.
Right. And they were just showing that actually starting young, even in a young person that don't think they already have a problem, they could see benefits of brain function even without bad decline. So you want to start early is the thing. And like I said, it is something that you don't have to show on lab work that you need it. You don't have to show anywhere that you need it. Everybody needs omega-3s. Everybody.
Yeah.
But will lab work show if you
there's
are
some specific lab work you can
Now
do.
we actually have something called an omega check, which the omega check is actually a test done where they actually look at the omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9s and breaks it down in EPA, DHA, all the different variations in the omegas. But I can say we've never done one of those tests that were normal if the person wasn't already taking omega-3.
And even if they are taking some,
If they're taking a little bit, it still ain't
not
good.
enough. Yeah, it's not
So
enough.
we show you need high dose omega-3 because almost everybody you check has real high omega-6. Your vegetable oils, a lot of your cooking oils are omega-6.
Yeah.
That is not what most people are deficient in. Omega-3s are so deficient in the Americans.
Yeah.
Right.
So you need to start early. You can start as kids. We have liquids where you can give it to them by the teaspoon, strawberry and orange flavored. So you can do liquids, you can do pills. We have all different variations
do
of
the
the
little gel,
omega-3. Yeah.
the little gel cap, which I take.
Yeah,
I take
exactly.
3 of those every day.
Yep.
I take 2 in the morning and 1 in the evening.
Okay.
Yep. So it's just something that everybody needs, and I know we stress it over and over and over, but a lot of people still don't get it.
No, and a lot of people say, well, I eat salmon. How often?
Right.
That's the key.
If you eat it daily, you're probably going to get enough.
Yeah, because what they tell us is that if you eat the cold water fish,
Right.
salmon, cod, so on, to get the omega-3s, if you do it at least twice a week. Now, most people I talk to, when you start asking them, okay, how often do you eat this stuff? It's not twice a week. You know, maybe once a month, something like that. Things. And what was really interesting, and there's been a lot of controversy about it over the years. There's a gene mutation called the APOE4, and those people have some real problems with fats. But what they found in this group was even the APOE4 carriers, that if they got a higher omega-3 index, in other words, more omega-3s in their diet, they had less small vessel disease. And that APOE4 is associated with cardiovascular and dementia.
It increases small vessel disease.
Right.
So if they do more omega-3s, then it actually decreases their risk, which is good.
Well, we have a question from a viewer. What is vitamin K and what does it do?
Well, there's different types of vitamin K. And it's kind of weird because they're not the same. K1, K2 are your 2 big ones. There's other Ks in that family, but that's the 2 big ones. K1 actually helps you clot. Now, so it is one that, to me, you don't want tons of. You do get vitamin K1 from green leafy vegetables. I think that's usually plenty for most people.
For most, at least.
K2 is the one that people don't get enough of. K2 used to be really high in eggs, but the way they're feeding the chickens and the way the yolks don't have the K2 it used to. So we do use a lot of K2 supplement wise, because K2, but both K1 and K2 can help bone density, just to let you know that. But K2 can actually redirect calcium, and it can actually lead it to the bone and take it out of the arteries, so you're talking about decreasing plaque and increasing bone density. But that is vitamin K2, which is a totally different story than K1.
Right.
People, you don't want somebody with heart disease taking tons of K1 and actually thickening the blood, because there's no doubt it can do that.
Yeah.
So
probably not a good thing to take that if you have high cholesterol.
It's just you don't want tons of it. Now there's those exceptions. I mean, you got some of the free bleeders and the hemophiliacs, they use K1. So, but I mean, that's very rare.
Yeah.
It is very rare, and it's not the norm. So we don't use a lot of K1 because I don't want people to clot easy. We use a lot of K2.
All right.
So yeah.
All right, we've got a message from Linda. I'm having a hard time with menopause symptoms. Do I need to check my hormones?
Well, you can. With menopause, if you know you're in menopause, honestly, your hormones are going to be pretty low. I mean, it ain't going to be like that the hormones are high as can be when you're in menopause. They're going to be low. Now, you can look and just see the ratios. Testosterone is one of those hormones that doesn't always fall in menopause, and if it does, there are things we have to bring it up. So, and there we do have some of the bioidentical estrogens and progesterones that we can use in creams as well. So there are things you can do to help. It is a good, I've checked mine, in menopause, so you do want to kind of know where they are, but you don't absolutely have to take something to help the symptoms. So if you have a lot of symptoms, just give us a call. We'll see what kind of symptoms you're having and see where we go from there.
All right, another question. Whenever I get ready for a trip, my anxiety goes through the roof. My heart races, my breathing is heavier. Is there anything that I can do for that? Don't go on the trip. I'm just
Yeah.
That's the first thing. There's several things. One that we use a lot, and a lot of people have good results with, theanine, the amino acid theanine. I don't know, have you ever tried that?
No.
Okay.
Have. Wasn't sure if you have.
Yeah, you have.
I'm taking it. I'm sorry. L-theanine.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to think about it. Yes.
Right. Yeah,
Forgot the L.
The theanine is so safe, and actually it's something that anybody can take that helps anxiety, and it can be used with any medication. There's also kava, but you cannot take it with other anti-anxiety medicines. But there are definitely those things that you can do to kind of help calm you. Kava can make you a little sleepy. Theanine does not. Theanine also helps focus. So that's where I'd start.
Yeah. Because I have had a tendency for anxiety attacks, and I started taking the L-theanine, and I'm good. Yeah. All right, 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Our phone lines are open. This is Open Line Monday on the Doctor's Nutrition Show. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back. It's our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. Our phone lines are open at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. If you have a question for the doctors, give us a call. Let's see. We've got a question here. What are your thoughts about drinking a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil in the morning?
Actually, you want to do a tablespoon and a half.
Tablespoon and a half.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is because some recent research, what was it, 6, 8 months, 9 months ago? It's this year. I believe it was this year, earlier this year, or like maybe Christmas last year or something like that. And they showed that the people, and it was a pretty big cohort, the people that take in a tablespoon and a half per day had something like 30-something% less cardiovascular events.
Yep.
Heart attacks.
Now with the if you don't want to just take it, you can put it on a salad or you can put it on something, but olive oil does not need to be heated.
No.
So make sure it's not on anything hot, and don't use it like to saute something hot. So, but you don't have
I've
to
done
just
put a few drops of lemon in it.
You could, yeah, exactly. Now you can just take it, but you can put it on your food too. So some people are like, oh, I can't just take olive oil. Well, just use it that much during the day.
Not the best tasting in the world. That's why I put lemon juice.
And you do want extra virgin.
Yeah.
I recommend organic. So but you can find that. And so that's what I would recommend doing, and definitely that's one of your omega-9s, which is also very beneficial.
Actually, when you pinch an inch, in the belly, baby, you're pinching something called oleic acid. That's what it's fat.
Well, I got a lot of oleic acid.
You got a lot of oleic acid.
We were talking about that before.
That's the primary fat in your olive oil. So yeah, it's pretty good. Our body loves it, and it really is. And like I said, a tablespoon and a half, and they showed like a 30-something% decrease in cardiovascular events. That's amazing.
Wow.
That's not, that's simple,
Wow.
easy to do.
All right, another question. Is there a link between food/good nutrition and mental health?
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt that mental health is linked a lot with good nutrition. Sugar is one of the, I mean, we talk about that every week as well. Sugar is not good for the brain.
No.
It's not good for a lot of your mental problems. And, you know, you want your, you know, bright colored vegetables, some fruit, berries, and like I said, you got to get your protein. And so you want good nutrition, you want real food. One of the biggest reasons I think it affects mental and the brain is the chemicals and the toxins that are in our, packaged processed food. It's horrible.
I think we talked about, you know, it's back earlier this year, there was a study came out where they looked at University of California, I think it was Berkeley, and they looked at the food supply. And they said, okay, we're going to see what kind of chemicals are in it. And they found 109 different chemicals.
Wow.
Now, this is not food, this is chemicals in the food, okay? Then they kind of broke it down even further and they went far enough, and something like 55 or 50 something of them had never been seen in the food supply before. And there was like 42 that they didn't have a name for. And that's scary. If you've ever been around a bench chemist, I mean, they can name anything. And they could not name 42 of these compounds.
Yep.
Wow,
So packaged processed food is terrible.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt it's good for mental health. And there's a lot of research coming out as how probiotics are linked with mental positively with mental health.
And what we just talked about
and
earlier,
omega-3s. Omega-3 has a lot of research for mental health. So if somebody out there is worried about it, I mean, that makes omega-3 is huge for that, and probiotics as well. So, and like I said, and eat clean.
All right. Sarah wants to know, is there anything that I can do to help endometriosis?
Yes, endometriosis is, we have a few things that can actually help with that. For one, it usually comes from an estrogen dominance. So you have to look at things that can actually help estrogen dominance, like DIM, diindolylmethane. So that is one thing. Also, we have something called serrapeptidase that actually does help with the inflammatory response that endometriosis is. And there's some really good new research on SPMs, and we've talked about those, special pro-resolving mediators. Special pro-resolving mediators have been shown to actually help with shrinking the endometriosis. And so there's a lot of things you can do, and another big thing is to lose weight. Being overweight and having more body fat is not good for endometriosis because that's, you store estrogen, and estrogen feeds endometriosis. So.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Bill says, my daughter has decided to become a full-blown vegetarian. What can a teenage daughter, and what can I do to make sure she's getting enough protein in her diet?
Well, I mean, of course, that's tough. I mean, that's probably one of the vegetarians and vegans are probably the two toughest groups that we have to keep adequate nutrition in there. Protein's one thing. Now, there's a lot of protein supplements that are, and matter of fact, one of them that we use a lot is a pea protein. And it's vegetarian approved, I mean, in that respect, but you're gonna have to supplement it because you can't just eat enough beans. Beans really don't have that much protein. I mean, everybody says they do, but you know, look at the data, they really don't.
A big old plate might have 7-8 grams. And what you want to do is you want to take her body weight, divide it by 2.2, and that gives you the minimum amount of protein that she needs. So that's kind of how you look at, and then you add it up. Add up what you're feeding them and see how much protein they're getting. And if they don't get enough protein, you have to supplement. As a vegetarian.
And vegetarians also have to worry about the B vitamins.
B12s, right.
B12 especially.
Yeah, B12 specifically, but all B vitamins, really animal sources are where you get that from. And so you definitely need a B complex with a high B12. Our B complex plus is what I would probably recommend.
Exactly.
Daughter possibly has gastritis. She has been in the hospital and she can't walk. So any kind of help on gastritis and what you to take would be helpful.
Well, gastritis is just inflammation of the gas. I mean, there's a lot of things that can affect gastritis.
Yeah, I mean, gastritis is just inflammation of the gut.
It's just inflammation, right. And so food allergies can make a lot of gastritis, and we do food allergy testing. So that would be, if somebody has that bad of gastritis that they're hospitalized, I would look at doing food allergy testing. Also, we have something called GI Essentials, which heals the lining of the gut and the intestines, which is what it's for. Great, that and probiotics. So I would do probiotics and GI Essentials, but I would also start looking at food allergies because that could make a big difference.
That, you know, food allergies, I think, are probably one of the most overlooked things going because so many people are so sensitive to certain foods. And when they are, they're going to have problems with them. And you know, if you keep, it's like I had a friend down in Florida, I think I've told about it on the show one day, where he had, his diet was great. Avocados, fruits, vegetables, you know, you name it. Everything he was eating, had a high sensitivity to it. Because he was always complaining about gastritis and those kind of problems. And when we did that food sensitivity testing for him, changed his diet dramatically. Oh my God, I'm going to have to give up avocados. I said, yeah. He said, well, they're so good for you. Yeah.
Wow.
And it can be a food that's good for you.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems. When food allergies, it's not necessarily all your bad foods.
No.
It's actually just a food that your body is sensitive to. And we don't just look at a true food allergy, we also look at food sensitivities. So the test we do checks it all.
Yeah.
And because I have seen more sensitivities make more problems than most people can figure out some of the true allergies.
Yeah.
All right. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. We'll come back with our final segment, another question from a viewer, and also this week's special. And welcome back. It's our final segment of the morning. Let's go ahead and look at what we have for this week's special for you. And that is...
Yeah, it's the Amino Flow. You know, a lot of people ask us about beet powders and stuff that that's kind of become popular. This is something that we've used for, gosh, probably what, 12, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Probably 15 years now. And it's a blend of amino acids that do the same thing. What it does is increase nitric oxide in the vascular system. So it vasodilates. It dilates, relaxes your blood vessels, makes it, lowering blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera.
Like I said, but the thing that anytime you open up the blood vessels and you get more blood flow, kind of can help everything.
Yeah.
But we kind of use it a lot for blood pressure, because it actually relaxing those vessels and opening up and dilating definitely makes the pressure go down. Right. And we also use it for ED a lot, so erectile dysfunction. It is something that increases blood flow. So blood flow definitely makes a difference with Amino Flow, and we just hadn't talked about it in a while, so we decided to put it on special this week. And it is a powder, so you do have to mix it up with water and drink it, because you would have to take a whole bunch of pills to get a high enough dose of these amino acids separately. So it is a powder form, and you just take a scoop and mix it up on an empty stomach, and you do it once or twice a day.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, we have a question. Parkinson's disease, anything you would recommend to take to help with it?
Well, Parkinson's, there's not one thing.
No.
There is a lot of new research on probiotics in Parkinson's. I mean, there is stuff that's come out with liver issues in Parkinson's. So it really depends on the person. I've seen some people with Parkinson's that do have a liver issue. I've seen other people that do not. So that is one with Parkinson's. I would definitely say you want to do lab work. You want to treat anything, any underlying problems, take care of it, and then kind of go from there. So Parkinson's is not just one thing. We do have something called Dopa Boost, which actually increases dopamine, which is one of the problems with Parkinson's. But you cannot take it if you're on the Parkinson's medication already. There is glutathione. Glutathione wonders for Parkinson's. Glutathione you can take if you're on the medication. So it just depends on what you're on, what you're not on. Depends on what point you're at. So there's a lot of things for Parkinson's. That's why we're there. That's why we offer free consultations. People come by. It doesn't cost you anything to come by and talk to us about your specific problem.
Right.
All right. Another question. Anything on the market to help get rid of belly fat?
What you eat is probably your biggest thing. Now, we do have a product that people have been saying is working. It's called thermogenic weight management.
All right.
And it has made a difference. And it is a fat burner, but it does not increase the blood pressure. It's not a stimulant. So that is one of the things that I would try, but eating right and getting off of sugar is probably the biggest thing. Sugar and carbs is what makes a lot of the belly fat.
Any of your carbohydrate stuff.
Yeah, any of the carbohydrates.
Okay. COVID vaccine and flu vaccine, are they worth getting, and what are your thoughts?
Well, our training has, for years, as a chiropractor, we are taught you want your own immune system to take care of yourself.
Right.
So that is our thoughts. I mean, we are not telling people what to do, but
it's kind of a personal thing.
It is.
Yeah. You need to look at the facts. That's basically what it boils down to. Look at the facts. And, like she said, getting your immune system working optimally, number one step. And if you don't do that, you're in trouble. But if you do that and you take care of yourself and you get your immune system functional, you know, the vaccine, because the vaccines, I don't care what vaccine it is, whether it's flu or COVID or whatever, it's not for what's going around right now. It's something that was back there a long time ago.
Well, that's what they base the flu shot on. I mean,
they
it
are,
happened like
and I do see.
That's why I don't take it anymore.
And I do see that it's rare that they get the right strand. I mean, they do sometimes, and it does work if they have the right one. But there's a lot of people that have had severe reactions, and you got to look at yourself and you got to make a decision for yourself. But we don't take them. So that is kind of our thoughts. You can kind of see what we think because we don't do it ourselves.
Well, we work really, really
We do a
hard.
lot for our immune system. We really do.
We do.
Yep.
More so that, you know, when people ask you, what do you take? Okay, you got a book? I mean, we'll write it, you know, because I mean, it's seriously, you got to take a lot of stuff. You got to do a lot of things right. You got to take a lot of things to.
You got to exercise. You got to eat right. It's not just about what you take. It's about everything. Because just because you take the vaccine does not mean that you're going to be healthy.
How many people do we know that had the vaccine?
We have seen a lot of the people with the COVID vaccines have COVID 3 and 4 or 5 times afterwards. So we've seen that a lot. So you got to get healthy.
Yeah.
It's not about just there's not just that magic thing out there, unfortunately, and that's with everything. There's not a magic pill to treat diabetes. There's not a magic pill to get rid of, you know, there's not.
Right.
You've got to do everything overall, and that's kind of what we talk about every week.
Yeah.
All right. I love eating nuts for a snack. Is there any one that's better than others?
Ooh, you know, there are. Actually, several of them, actually. Pistachios.
I love
There's
those.
a lot of good research on pistachios and heart health. I mean,
Yeah.
really, like lately in the last few years.
Yeah.
So pistachios are a really good one. And then
walnuts.
Walnuts have that omega-3 that we've been talking about.
Yep.
It's one of your only nuts that you can actually cook with that actually, because you can use walnut oil too.
Yeah.
And it does have some omega-3s in it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
As we are fast approaching cold season, what are some of the things that we can do to strengthen our systems?
Well, that's funny because we just talked about the immune system. Making sure your vitamin D is adequate.
Oh, that's big.
Big.
That's huge.
Actually keep them, you know, a lot of people are taking zinc now since COVID's out, and that's good. Probiotics. Probiotics are 70 to 80% of your immune system. So, and then you have like your arabinogalactin, which is actually a prebiotic. So it feeds your probiotics and it keeps them good and healthy and makes them multiply. So and then there's so many things we have. There's mushroom combinations. There's all kind of things for the immune system, but that's kind of some of your basics.
Yeah.
And vitamin C.
Yeah.
Old goody vitamin C.
Everybody wants to take vitamin C, and you can't get it drinking orange juice.
No. Well,
Well,
that just
way
gives
too
you a
much
bunch of
sugar.
sugar, actually. It just gives you a
A
bunch of
bunch of
sugar.
sugar.
But yeah, the liposomal C, we've talked about that in the past. If you're going to do vitamin C, it is your most absorbable and the best way of getting vitamin C.
All right, one more quick question. I just contracted shingles. What can I take for it, and how long do they last?
How long they last depends on the person, but
Yeah. One of the big things that we use there's 2 things. An olive leaf extract, which is an antiviral.
Yep.
And then the other thing is lysine. It's an amino acid, it's a simple amino acid, fairly inexpensive. You just got to take tons of it.
yeah, high doses of lysine will inhibit replication of any of the herpes virus, which actually shingles falls in that, because it is one of the herpes viruses. So it's really good for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that pretty much wraps up the show for this morning. We appreciate everyone joining us today on our back here in studio with you live. If you have any other information that you'd like to find out or any questions you'd like to ask, go on to doctorsnutrition.com. Next week we'll be talking about breast health.
Yes, we're going to talk about things you can do for prevention for breast.
All right, have yourself a wonderful week.
For more information on highlighting your business and services on Healthy Living South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.